Hello, my name's Phil Begnett, and welcome to the very latest episode of Handpan Voices, a podcast dedicated to inspiring stories from across the whole of the handpan world. In this episode of Handpan Voices, I'm joined by Peter Wallace, also known as the Simple Scotsman. It's a conversation about handpan, healing, community, and what it means to step into the light as a musician. Peter shares how the handpan became a tool for grounding and sound healing, and how one question changed the way he approached playing. Not where can I get gigs, but how can I serve? We also talk about choosing scales for sound baths, playing with vulnerability, using the neotone, and building the Kentucky handpan community, as well as releasing his Celtic-inspired new album, Highlander. It's a thoughtful conversation about music, self-belief, and the way this instrument continues to bring people together. Peter Wallace, thank you so much for joining me on Handpan Voices. How has your day been so far?
Day has been absolutely amazing. I got to sleep in and drink coffee, so I'm a happy man.
Excellent. That sounds like a perfect Sunday to me so far. Excellent.
Definitely.
That's really good. Yeah, so we're obviously here to talk about everything to do with handpan, but you've probably had a musical background before you were introduced to it. So before the handpan into your life, what role did music have, or what sort of background did you have with music?
Well, as far as music, I've always been surrounded by it. My father is a phenomenal pianist. So we literally have a living room piano, like growing up. So naturally, I got into piano. I played for about 6 years. And then one day there was a bass guitar, a 1970s, it was a P bass that somebody donated to my father.
Uh-huh.
And so I started playing bass, and then I went from bass to guitar. Here's pom pom, and then
It's
like I
Peter and
said,
his cats today. That's what we've got on the screen.
yeah. Forewarning: you're gonna find more cats in all
Yeah.
of my answers and questions.
Yeah.
They always know when I'm recording or like
Yeah.
doing something live too. It never fails. So, but yeah, did bass to guitar, guitar to didgeridoo to melodica,
Wow.
melodica to ocarina and flutes, and then I moved to djembe, and then I met the handpan basically from there.
What was that like? Can you remember the first moment you encountered one? What did it feel? What was the difference between the instruments that you'd played before?
So there was a website called Stumble Upon that would just do a randomizer basically of different videos. And at the
Yeah.
time, I was in one of my first IT jobs, and it ran across Daniel Waples and
Uh-huh.
his friend on violin. And that was my first interaction, I would say, as far as with a handpan.
Yeah.
And the moment that happened, I knew automatically that I needed to figure out how to get one. And
Oh
I
yeah.
was on the wait list actually, excuse me, with pan art. So I think I was like 3,365 was my line in queue or whatever. Uh,
Wow. I
if I
didn't know they
remember.
did that. They give you the number like that. Wow. I didn't know they did
Yeah,
that.
well, because I bugged them. I was very
Okay.
adamant at the time because
Right.
as a musician, I was currently collecting a bunch of instruments too at the time.
Okay.
So I had my fingers in a lot of different things. But yes, it was that was my first. Yeah, I'll never forget hearing. It's still one of my favorite handpan videos of all time, honestly. So.
And what skills do you think have translated from your early life into the handpan, and which ones didn't really help you?
Oh, that's a great question. So, as far as the skills, definitely, I've always had a gift of it's called the musician's ear, basically, to where you can hear something and then figure it out of whatever instrument that you're going through.
Okay.
Definitely, the skill that I feel that benefited me the most was playing bass guitar, because really the
Okay.
low notes of a handpan are very similar to the root notes of a bass guitar, and then you can use and utilize all the other notes, um, almost like, yeah, melodic guitar. So I thought that that was really interesting, and that really helped me. I feel of having a good, strong like beginning on the handpan.
And what did you do you think there was something you had to unlearn? Did you find yourself doing a certain thing or a certain way you think I've got to I've got to stop doing that?
Yeah.
Was there anything that happened?
Trying too hard, and that's one of the
Yeah.
number one things that I show and stress to my students, as well
Uh-huh.
as people that I meet that are beginners or brand new, is that there's so much online of just everyone playing so fast and so quick, and different
Yeah,
techniques and
there
everything,
is.
that there it was learning to surrender was another one. That was a big surrendering to being vulnerable on the instrument and allowing the instrument to breathe. So yeah, not feeling like you have to play fast, definitely, and then also just surrendering to it, your own self to it, which is really interesting.
I remember Pete going to a handpan festival in the UK, and this guy was doing a lesson called Rishi, and he had about 20 students in front of him, and he said, "I would love to hear all of you play one after another, but I don't want to hear you play like anybody else. There's no point about you trying to play like somebody else. I want to hear
Mm-hmm.
you play how like you play." And
Mm-hmm.
it was just a really interesting moment to me as I was sitting there thinking, that's really a really important thing to tell people, isn't it? Like you
Yes.
said, everybody's got their own sound, everybody's got their own feel of what needs to be expressed out of themselves,
Yep.
but we always not always, not people think they should compare themselves, as which is what you're saying, isn't it, to
Yep.
other people.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
that
fascinating.
it's a wonderful thing too, because thank you for sharing that as well. It's really, sorry, I got a cat that's playing on this. It's really interesting because you can literally learn something from every single player, beginner, advanced. Like everyone plays differently, and they play different notes that you might not think of going to first or anything like that.
Yeah,
And I think that's the beautiful thing about it. I love listening to anyone play because it's just a constant learning. I'm still learning to this day. It's just like, oh, like, he hit a double beat on the drone note compared to going down to like note one, or something like that. It's just so intriguing of how people play, because you're learning about someone through sound and like their
yeah.
personality, like that, whether they know that they're doing it or not. Like that's literally what's happening. So
Even like you said, the legend Daniel Waples, which I've had the pleasure of meeting a couple of times myself. You know,
welcome to
he was
yeah.
inspired by certain sort of '90s rock music or sort of grunge music, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
he's playing his style from right from the beginning, based on what he was influenced by.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
then when everybody else started to hear the instrument with people like him, initially a lot of people thought, oh, this is how you play it. But really, he was just doing what you just said. He was just using his experience and music that he liked to play the way that he thought was the right way for him.
Yeah.
I've got some Cascat shakers in a drawer that I bought last time I was in London because of him as well. But I haven't really. I bought them, tried it a few times, realised how terrible I am, and sort of put it back in the drawer, which is terrible. I need to stick with it. But yeah, he is an inspirational character, and hopefully one day I'll get to talk to him. So let's sort of rein back about playing from for yourself and playing with expression.
Mm.
You obviously like to play slowly and methodically. Is this where the sound healing started to come from? How did you put those two worlds together, music and sound healing? What's your background with that, or your journey with that?
So really, I wish that I could give myself my own credit of knowing that I was kind of doing sound healing. But my partner at the time, she actually was kind of mentioning it to me one day, and she was like, "Well, you use the handpans when you had like hard days of work, that you would come to play and to calm yourself and such." And she was like, "Well, that's what sound healing is. Why don't you share that with other people in that aspect?" And I thought that that was a really unique thing. And when I started realizing it, like thinking really deeply about it, I was like, "Oh, it makes perfect sense. Like these instruments can calm, they can root you, they can ground you if you need to be grounded, and recentered, just like breathing meditation. And once that all kind of clicked, I was like, okay, well, like, what would this look like compared to like when I play performances? I have songs, that are fast, and I
Yeah.
have that are slow and medium, and I'm a big storyteller, so I like love to tell stories about each song and stuff. Which,
Okay.
if you want to, if we want to talk about that later, we can as well. But um,
Sure.
so like coming from that aspect to then, yeah, bringing that back and slowing down my patterns and slowing down everything to allow the handpans to breathe, I think is really where I discovered that that's where the magic is in the sound healing. And yeah, then I just started you started going into people's houses and
Uh
literally
huh.
just going in their basements and playing for them one on one until I found and met Amy Hudson here in the Sound Healing Center of Lexington.
Uh huh.
We have our own center here in the city, for sound healing and sound healing practitioners, and I've been facilitating there for, I guess, almost 3 years now, which is crazy. So
Wow, that's amazing. That's really great.
yeah.
So, in your experience, Peter, what sort of handpan scales work really well in a sound healing setting, and which ones don't, if there's any?
Another wonderful question. The answer to that is I feel that every single handpan scale can be a part of someone's sound healing. So
Okay.
if you're doing it facilitating wise, you can do like a basis and stuff. So I'll do normally three scales for
Yep.
about an hour and a half, so 30 minutes each scale. And you can create it and think of it as you're creating like a full course meal for somebody.
Okay.
So you have a beginner, you have the appetizer to ease people into the main course, then you have the main course, and then you have the ending, the dessert. And like so, if you look at it that way and almost make the number one question that I always ask myself for anything that I do is how can I make this playful? And so that's where like the appetizer kind of thing can came with. Um, you can think of that in the same thing. So like with three hand pens, you can be like, can I do I want to start with something that's going to excuse me, ease people in,
Yep.
or and then we can go rooted like in the middle, and then for dessert, do we want it to be sweet, do we want it to go happy, like end with a joyful note, or like a major scale for example, or do I want to keep it grounded, do we want something that's filling and that's going to bring people at peace and ease, or do I want something salty, something a little spicy, at the dessert, like a spicy dessert. So an example of that would be my good go-to that I enjoy is B Celtic minor at the beginning. So a Celtic scale, a minor scale, because it's
Yep.
neutral and everyone can kind of ease into it. It's really easy. So you got the high notes, you got the low
Yep.
notes, rootedness, see a gene in the middle because
Ooh,
it's really
yeah.
rooted and deep.
Yep.
It has that deep nutrition to it. And then if you want to end sweet, D major, Isabai. Isabai is one of my favorite go tos at the end, just because
Yeah.
it has that happy littleness to it, and that way people are leaving, leaving it a little bit like satisfied from after something so deep like a F sharp pygmy or yeah, see a gene like those when you go into those right in the middle, it just really opens up a lot for people. So
That's
um,
fascinating. Love
ending
it.
something sweet, yeah, is normally what I'll do for that. But yeah,
Right, I'm going to
he
give you three. I'm going to give you three patterns that I've got because I've been asked to play for 75 minutes at a yoga nidra session. So I've got
perfect.
the three scales, and you can give me the starter, the main course, and the dessert. Right, what you think? So I've got
Okay,
a D curd,
okay,
I've got an F2 low pygmy, and I've got a
okay,
B hijaz. Is it
okay.
that order, or is that the what order would you put those three in?
So what's interesting about the Hijaz is cool. I just recently started bringing my C sharp Hijaz to my sound baths, probably about for the first time like 5 months ago. I was really uncertain because the Hijaz is so mystical,
Yeah,
and I was just like, well, like can I bring this in?
yeah,
Um, so with the F in there as well, I would start with the D curd for sure. I would put the
Yeah.
B he jazz in the middle and
Okay.
let it be open. Lots of yeah, like 3 4 note hits, and
Yeah.
let it breathe, because you have that mystery to it, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Yeah.
end with the F, because that will be super grounding and end everyone.
Yeah.
Because if you went really grounding and then he jazz, it can
Yeah.
work, but like I would say, my answer to you would be like feel into that, like the F to the Hejaz, what that would feel like to you if you were listening,
Yeah.
or Hejaz to F. I would personally put the Hejaz in the middle. So
Nice. Okay, it's done. That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. I appreciate you. I appreciate you saying that.
appreciate you.
Okay, so apart from basements and this amazing new centre, what sort of environments do you think the handpan works best in? What sort of atmospheres or environments does the instrument shine for you?
The answer is everywhere. Honestly,
Ah,
like I'm constantly finding places to put it. Um, I went from this was probably about 2 years ago. I went from asking myself, where can I get gigs, and confining myself in boxes of places. Like, I can play at a yoga place, I can play at sound baths, I can play in a park. Like, I went from asking myself that question of where I can play to how can I serve. And
ah,
that has been an absolute game changer for me, as not only a musician, but a practitioner, as well as somebody that just wants to serve.
nice.
And that has put me in places like I played for a group of sexually abused women,
Yeah,
and where like they weren't safe around males. And I played a wedding ceremony, or not a wedding, sorry, the actual wedding, as they were walking down the aisle.
nice. Yeah,
And
lovely.
I played for veterans, Army veterans,
Yeah,
as a performance sound bath mixture. So it's like, when you start asking yourself, like, oh, I played a Renaissance festival last year. That's the thing. I've done so much just last year alone, even
brilliant.
by just asking, like, where can I bring these? And I was like, I was always wanted to do a Ren fair, so I found one, and they allowed me just to be background music, been background music for farmers markets,
Yeah,
holiday markets. Um, People are just constantly looking for something unique, and the handpan is that.
yeah.
It's
It's
a
still got
unique
that.
instrument, and it's also an instrument, yeah, you can utilize as background music, but you can also utilize it in healing, or you can utilize it in performance pieces. Like, there's just so much.
How does it make you feel when you are background music? I've always sort of I haven't done it that much. I played at a few wellness events, and you are
Mhm.
very much, you are
Almost
the
there.
music in the background. You are like the Bluetooth speaker in the corner, really.
Yeah, yep.
How do you approach being background music? Where does your mind go, or do you just try to engage with people? Or how did it work for you?
It's really yeah, I'll circle back to stating, how can I make this playful for myself.
Right.
I'll trickle in my own songs and stuff. I won't like tell the storytelling or anything like that. But most of the time, yeah, you're in the background. You'll have people definitely come up and ask you about the instrument as you're playing.
Yeah.
And then I'd say, out of all my instruments I've ever played out live, the handpan is the number one, where people are just like, "What is that?
What is
What
that?
are you?" As you're performing, or like as you're
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
So that was something new that I had to learn skill wise. Like, playing and talking was a really interesting one. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like, just making it playful, and I'll trickle songs in, and but not really see it as a gig, like a gig. I just feel the room, understand what it is. Like, if you're definitely the background, there's a lot of chatter and stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost, I feel like the way I look at it is the playfulness, and then definitely it's almost like you're practicing or just playing at your house.
You're practicing. Yeah. Definitely. That's what
Yeah,
I was thinking
yeah.
when you were saying
Like,
that. You just use it as a
I
really
have
good practice session, right?
definitely. It's a good way to get your foot in the door of, if you're not used to performing live, as well as open mics. I encourage all of my students and all the handpan people around me. I'm like, go to open mics, just play, no
Yeah.
agenda, just play. So
That's very good advice. Yeah, I think, background music. I mean, a lot of people would tend to think that you are being ignored, but I think it's a skill that you've got to learn, isn't it? That's the age of the musician. You are going to be somebody. You are the atmosphere to somebody else's night out. You're not the centre stage first person. They haven't come to see you. They're here to do other stuff, and it's interesting, isn't it, Peter? About some people are tuned into music and other people are just clearly not. They're really not even interested. They're not even, it doesn't even, I mean, like a lot of people can put music on. I mean, okay, let's get it off my chest. A lot of people put music on in the background just to have a noise in the back. They don't even, or the TV. They don't even watch it. They don't even listen to it. It's just a sound. They don't even, I can't do that. I can't. When I'm in a restaurant or when I'm in like anywhere, if there's music on, I'm like, half of my mind is always listening to it. I can't physically put it in the background. I can't help it because I love it so much.
What's really fun about the handpan is seeing people that are like that they just heard music and just listened to the background, and then they found the handpan and heard it and really felt it, and then came. I've had multiple students, multiple people come to me just over the years asking questions about the handpan. They're like, I have no music background. I don't understand any of this. Like, where do I begin? It's so interesting that that was one of the reasons why the handpan it draws so many people, and it drew me just as much. It's just like, it's something completely different than any other instrument I've ever played.
Let's answer that question then that you get asked a lot, I'm sure. What do you say to people who are merely inquisitive and they don't know where the hell to go? What do you say to beginner players who haven't even picked an instrument yet?
Just play with it. I like to touch it and try to intuitively feel it. Feel what it's trying to say. I think that's the perfect starting point. Be curious. You can do plenty of research and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just picking up the handpan and touching it, trying to understand what the notes are, like what they, if I strike one note this way, what does that bring into me? Like asking questions within yourself, I think is a perfect starting point for someone that's not musical. And then from there, you can kind of start understanding like what type of player you want to be. Do you want to be more percussive? Do you want to be more melodic? Do you want a mixture of both? And then from there, you can start looking at different players, because there's so many out there at this point of everyone that's playing and bring their own kind of styles and understandings.
The thing about the handpan is it is quite intuitive, and you can pick it up and you can play it, so it does attract everybody to the instrument, and it can be quite a private thing, can't it? When you first start off, when you're saying these things, explore, but you kind of want to express yourself, but you don't feel like you're a musician yet, so you sort of hold yourself back, if you like.
Yes.
When I ask people what they want to talk about on this podcast, I get back the topics, and one of the fascinating topics that you gave me was stepping into the light and being seen as a player and as a musician. So talk to me about a little bit about that. I mean, where does the transition happen from playing privately on your own? What is that all about? Set the scene for that.
I guess the answer to that question really it starts with you of feeling that you're worth it,
Uh
that
huh.
you're worthy of performing and or like trying to go out and heal the world, so to say, in
Uh
your
huh.
own way, because music heals and music is calming, and people connect with musicians, and that's why everyone has favorite bands if they are into music, or inspirations, in different genres. So um, I think it was, yeah, in 2024 I really, like, I had been a partner with Ravost before they moved from Russia over to their
Yeah.
new spot and everything like that. I was one of their players,
Uh huh.
so I was really focused, honestly, at just selling stuff for them and promoting their products and stuff. And when their move went, they took everyone off their website besides Ricky, and I was like, cool, I have nothing else to lose. And I think that that was probably, I'm trying to answer your question the best way I can, but I
It's
really,
okay.
I think that was it, was when you realize that you have nothing to lose, but, and the nothing holding you back besides yourself, and any opportunities, not necessarily that I felt like I deserved the opportunities at the time, but it was just, I was like, okay, cool. Well, like, how can I serve? And then ever since that clicked, when I was like, how can I serve? Then
Yeah.
more opportunities came through, and more, just yeah, I asked for sponsorships, and I got a sponsorship in 2024, and then I got an ambassadorship with Handpans, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still constantly asking and sending letters of like, hey, like this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm attempting to do. This is how I'm, shining, in continually networking. And all it takes is one person to be in sync with you,
Yeah.
really, of what your mission is, what your life mission is. And
Yeah.
mine is to serve. Like, that's, I went to the Summit of Greatness with Lewis Howell. He does really amazing podcasts too, for
Uh huh.
entrepreneurs. But he always asks you, in the first one I went to, he's like, "What is your life's main purpose? What is the purpose of your life?" And automatically, my answer within me was to heal others and be healed in return. And from that turned from, I'm healing myself to be able to heal others in return. So it actually rotated by putting myself out there and just trying. You're going to fail, and you're going to get rejection letters. You're going to
Yeah.
get, you're both near and far distances and stuff like that, locally as well as internationally. But like,
Yeah.
it just takes one person to be like, all right, I'm going to give you a shot. And that is really how, yeah, I think that's when it really clicked, is just like, I'm going to find, no matter what, I'm going to find where I can serve and be a part of and stuff. And from there, I've met amazing handpan artists, like we were talking about Daniel Queen, Ricky. I consider Ricky my mentor, and
Yeah.
he knows that, and a brother at this point. And
Uh
just by knowing those two gentlemen, and Stephen, from Hamsa Handpans, just knowing him and stuff, it's just it's just given me more opportunities, and just like, and just knowing people and meeting people. And
yeah.
Sarah connected me with you from, from
Yeah.
Heartland. Like, you got to meet
Love
Philip,
Sarah.
and then I got to research all your stuff and watch all your things, and like, I just get to absorb everything. The handpan literally just it puts you in so many places that
Yeah.
is just, to this day I have to pinch myself and be like, am I here? Am I in this interview right now? Am I
Me too.
going to Pantasia? It's
Me
like, am I
too.
going to Pantasia this month now all of a sudden? Am I going to Pan Harmony? Am I going to Pan Marco? And it's like, yes, yes, yes,
Wow.
yes. And it's just crazy. It's like, I get to be a part of something that I love. I'll talk about handpan for hours with you if you wanted me to. I
Yeah,
don't
me
care.
too.
It's just like let's just keep on talking.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
I got a couple
crazy.
of comments to make about all that. The most successful people in life I've heard that are masters in failure.
Mm,
Yeah, they are used to failing, and they don't even consider it failing. They'll just keep doing the things that you said. Keep turning up, keep trying this, keep trying that, because they're paving their way. They're learning. But a lot of people don't want to fail, so they don't try things. Right? So they think, oh, I won't be able to do that, so I won't even bother doing it. Whereas a
I would say
successful person will just keep consistently failing and not caring at all if they fail
yes.
or not. They will just keep doing it. And the other things I'm finding that I'm learning myself, because we're all on this journey, we're learning about ourselves the older we
Mm,
get. The two things that I'm learning is you need to be patient
yes.
and you need to be consistent. Really, you need to be patient with yourself. You need to be patient of things. What's my wife said to me before? Not everybody else in the world is living their own little worlds. They're not waiting for you to do certain things. They're getting on with their lives. So you need to have a bit of patience, but you also need to have consistency. So people, especially in these days of the social media on the internet, you need to regularly be on there, right? You need to be regularly showing up and showing people what you're doing, and not feeling that you're sort of saying the same thing over and over again. You just have to sort of be in front of people's faces, I guess, which I've got to learn myself now. I think for Handpan, which is my new venture that I'm working on. But yeah, very interesting for sure. And
I want
so,
to add as well to that as well is to be gentle with yourself, be patient and gentle. Gentleness is extremely important, um, especially as Americans aren't really used to being vulnerable, is what I've learned over all of my years of life of meeting people. Everyone is just
yeah,
constantly grinding, they're constantly wearing themselves out. And I think that I think that when you show up as a human, even live, and that's why like open mics, I vouch for people to go to open mics and try it out, just to play, no agendas, just go and just perform for 15 minutes. And when what you'll find is that you'll find a community of other musicians
right.
of all kinds of sorts, that they're just there doing the same thing. They're trying new songs, they're trying new things, and you almost automatically develop a community within an evening.
Oh
And I
yeah,
think it's just so important. And then you'll have people that will want to collaborate with you because you have a unique instrument that you're bringing to something that's uh, open mics especially are very acoustic guitar like oriented. So when you're bringing something unique, people not only are going to listen, but even if you feel like you're messing up, the beauty of the handpan is it's with the scales, because since they all coexist with each other, when you think that you're messing up, another keen handpan player might hear it, but overall, it's never
yeah.
really a mess up. It's just a beautiful addition to the pieces that you're playing.
It's not the
Excuse me.
wrong. It's not the wrong note. It's just the next note, isn't it? That's what they
Yes, yeah,
say.
yeah. And yeah,
Yeah.
but you were talking about failure, and
Yeah.
when I was recording, I was recording from October all the way up until probably about 2 weeks ago,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, it was constant mess ups, like
Yeah.
one note or whatever, and then I had to redo the entire thing instead of editing. It was just yeah. When you don't see the failures as failures, but just ways to improve, and so you're improving your songs, you're improving your patterns by going back over and over again. And there's still portions of my recordings, even some of the videos. Like my YouTube has all of my songs right now on it, basically, and
Yeah.
there's songs on there that there's obvious hits and notes that I've hit and stuff, but I left them in there on purpose
Yeah.
because I want to remind people that are watching it that I'm just a human being, just like them. And I think that the vulnerability is what needs to be shown the most as a musician and as a handpan player than perfection at all points of time.
Do you think by its sheer nature that the handpan sort of makes you more vulnerable, the sort of the
Yes.
style of the instrument that it is?
Yes. I think that eventually everyone that plays realizes that. And I really feel that. I think that everyone eventually sees that you have to surrender in a way, compared to like guitar, you're learning chords. Like the chords, you're just learning it and like technique, technique, technique,
Yeah,
technique. And there's techniques definitely on handpan, and like you have two different aspects. You have the melodic side to learn, and then also the percussive, and then like learning how to integrate both at the same time.
yeah,
Um, but really, it's just I feel that there's, if you definitely want to unlock it eventually, like the instrument and its all of its capabilities, you have to figure out how to be vulnerable with yourself, with yourself first, and being gentle with yourself. Like I cannot stress that enough, and I stress that
yeah,
all the time. And people that I talk with about handpans, I feel like I talk about handpans every day with someone, and especially players. I'm like, you just got to be gentle with yourself and raise each other up for sure. If you know any
yeah,
other hand, and people encourage them to, yeah, step in their own light. To that question, yeah, this is
yeah.
stepping back into their own lights, and allowing themselves to be seen.
Like you talked about Sarah there. It reminds me of what you just said there about what she said. A lot of people are told when they're younger, you can't, you can't, you can't, you
Mm.
can't do this. You're no good at that. Or they don't constantly say it. Only one person might have said it one time, and it's stuck there. Like
Yes, yes,
I don't know, like something very annoying. Like the human mind is so brilliant, but it's also actually quite simple, and it
yep,
latches onto something and it will not let it go. And it thinks it's doing it to help you. It thinks it's like, oh yeah, that's going to bother you because it bothered you back then, and we're just going to keep that there. We're going to hold that idea. We're going to hold that mindset because we know, it's trying to look out for you. That part of the mind, it's sort of like it's trying to, it's trying to be your guide, your sort of bus driver through life. I call it the bus driver. It's sort of driving you the right, oh no, you don't want to go that way. Oh no, but really, it's not helping you at all, is it?
yeah, yeah,
Like you can just give yourself a chance because you're not that person anymore. You're not that little child that's been told that you can't do it. You're somebody else completely different. And yeah,
yes,
it's finding that. It's finding that strength or that inner belief, isn't it? And you're absolutely right, Peter. You've got to find like-minded people that will back you up and support you and sort of, because we need this community. And luckily, the handpan community is so supportive, isn't it? It seems to be really open. I was blown away when I sort of first met people at a festival. They were like, it was like, we all hug here when we
yeah,
meet each other. So bring it in. I was like, what?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
brilliant.
We're part of an instrument that's what, 26 years old now. Like
Yeah,
it's still a baby, but it's
yeah.
evolved for sure. But like, yeah, it's just every single person I've ever messaged, I think any handpan player, no matter popular or non-popular, like it's just like everyone always responds. It's the best. I'm just like, you can't like message Tool or like Metallica or anything, hey, what's up,
No.
guys? What kind of amps? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's so interesting to yeah. There's no other musician type community like that. It's fun.
Yeah, it sure is. Let's talk about the neotone. Tell me about your feelings about the neotone and what it means to you as a instrument that you can use moving forward for what you do.
It's definitely its own unique thing. I think that you can compare it like to electric guitar to an acoustic guitar. The acoustics are always going to have more of the authentic sound, but the neotone, and they've gotten it real close, and it's so good in its own way. I find myself picking up my neotone more often than my acoustic ones and my pans, unless I really want the pans for a certain piece or for like a certain feel and a vibe and such. The neotone is so accessible because you literally have access to over 70, I think close to 70 handpan
Wow.
scales, like
Gosh.
right
Is it
there, ready to
70
go.
now?
And
That's amazing.
it's about, yeah, I've, so ever since I got mine in October, I've put 18 scales on there. So I'm constantly creating scales to where I actually messaged Neotone and I was like, hey, do you see that I'm doing all this and making more volume? And they're like,
Yeah.
yes, we see this. I was like, cool. Just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Like, I was like, I'm not stopping. And they're like, great. Like, good. But yeah, like I added yeah, the Daniel Waples signature scale was the very first one I put from the Teratones. I reformatted that and put that in there for people to share. And it's just like, it, I want to share everything that I have with every other handpan player, and the Neotone enables me to do that, and it also enables me to be able for my students to play their scales. So I'm like, hey, what scale do you have? And most of the time they'll say D curds,
Yeah.
and then I can set the D curd on the Neotone and be like, all right, let's hit these patterns together, and it makes there's so many benefits to it, and it's really cool to see this evolve. I'm looking forward to seeing what the next
Yeah.
neotone version is going to be. Honestly, if
Yeah.
they get built-in speakers into them, I think that's going to be an incredible game changer to see. Honestly, I'm very intrigued. Yes, I
That
hope
was
that
my next
answers.
question was to you was what sort of other equipment do you use when you perform with your neotone, either in a live performance environment or when you work with your students? What other bits of kit do you plug into it?
So for the neotone, I got a Fishman amp, acoustic amp. I did a lot of research and used AI as well to help find and narrow down the best frequencies, I guess so to say, amps that would work. The Fishman was definitely the number one. Ethereal
Okay.
and E, he when he got his neotone, him and I literally talked for like 2 or 3 weeks about the neotone, and like I answered all his questions, and we exchanged setups and everything like that. Yeah, every setup's really pretty based on your opinion or what you're looking for. If like a reverb, it's easier to plug in two pedals. So
Yeah.
like I have an afterneath earthquaker pedal, for example, that almost sounds like a cave.
Yeah.
um, so
Nice.
it's beautiful with the neotone because it goes directly in through a Behringer. So this is the back of it.
Yeah.
And then it has stereo. So you have mono on the right, and then you also have the left if you want to put it in stereo. So I go through a 4 track preamp, basically Behringer. They're super cheap online. You can get
Okay.
them for like 60 to 80 bucks, maybe tops. And I run everything through there. That way you can have the Neotune plugged in like on channel 2, for example, and then the Phantom Power for channel 1 for your acoustic amps, or for your acoustic handpans, sorry.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, you just do
Yeah.
the main out for that and goes directly into the Fishman. So it's it's really simplistic and it's extremely portable. The Fishman loud boxes are small and portable to where you can get anywhere and everywhere. Last
Yeah.
year was the first year that I really started looking at equipment for performances, but as well as convenience for travel. And that was definitely how I formatted my setup. And you can
Yeah.
set up and tear down in about 15 minutes, no matter what you're doing. And yeah,
It's also I love the idea of it of being sort of like an a way to make notes or a way to practice or come up with ideas when you're traveling, like you said, with a pair of headphones on, where you don't have to worry about that speaker or that preamp. What do you record in those situations? What do you record into? So like you've got headphones on, you're just playing. Oh, I just want to make a note of this pattern that I'm recording on. What do you plug into the Neotone to get that recording, your idea?
I'm glad that you added in about the headphones and stuff too, especially for people that might be in apartments or have neighbors that are very close. Yeah. It is wonderful for that. Or if you have loud cats, for my example, that love to meow and communicate. Headphones are phenomenal. And yeah, I'm still getting used to that, honestly. I'll take it to work with me, and during my lunch and stuff, I'm like, oh, I can play, and it doesn't matter. It's not going to interrupt anybody's workday. I can literally perform wherever I'm at and record. So to answer your question about recording, you record directly onto the instrument. And everything, yeah. Wow. So you don't need to be plugged into anything at all for recording. So the scales and everything are just basically on their website, and you can set up like your mobile hotspot, for example, on your phone, and the Neotone will connect to your phone, and that's how you can grab the scales. So everything is cloud-based. So it's so convenient. Oh my gosh. Just even talking about it, I'm like, this is so ridiculous. It's really technology, like nerdiness at its core, but like the way the functionality is so simplistic for any user, really. Once you like understand it and feel it, the user manual is like 49 pages. But I encourage anyone that has a Neotone that has questions, they can message me. I'll answer. I've nerded out on this thing for so many months, but so you just basically for your patterns that you're like, oh, I really like that pattern. With an acoustic, I would just record like on a recording app on my phone. I'm like, I'm going to forget this, in an hour, basically. So I need to record it. With a Neotone, you just press and hold down the drone note, and it starts recording. And then when you're done, you just hold the drone note again, and it cuts it off, and it auto clips it to where it doesn't have any additional like notes and stuff, which is nice. And whenever you're online again, or if it connects to the internet, it uploads it to the website, and you can listen to it from the website. So what I found recording the album is that I really didn't have to do any mastering, because Neotone's already recorded all these handpans and put them through mastering programs, basically. Yeah. So the sound quality is ridiculously good, honestly. Like I could have probably added more reverb and stuff. Like I use a Cakewalk. It's free, by the way, for anyone that's looking to record their stuff online. It's an absolute free application, and really it's easy to learn too. But you could add reverb through that just by uploading the MP3s through it, and then it's done.
Wow, Cakewalk, is that okay? I'll try and remember that. I put it in the show notes for sure. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. People are asking me about that all the time. How do I make my sound? How do I make my recording sound better without buying all the equipment, the fancy reverbs, and all the sort of outboard equipment? In the thoughts of people that might not be as geeky and nerding out as me and you, Peter, we'll try and do a complete. We'll try and come away from the music technology and back to the people, back to the community, which we both also love as well as the technology. We best sort of respect the people who really don't care about it whatsoever. Let's talk about the communities again. More importantly, the Kentucky handpan community that you have been starting to get involved in for over the last few years. Tell us about the community there in Kentucky. What do people do? How do you get together? Why is it special for you?
So when I moved down to Lexington, I didn't know any other handpan artists down here. And really, when I was living more towards Cincinnati, Ohio, I only met maybe one other handpan artist. So I decided, I was like, I'm going to make a Kentucky handpan Facebook group. And that's what kind of started it all. And then
Yeah,
gradually, handpan people, different handpan artists and everything started finding it. And then from there, I started making connections. And then other people, as I was doing sound healing or if I was doing performances that were interested in handpans, they became my students, or they picked up a handpan
yeah,
and I added them. So it's been going strong for probably about the handpan community group on it just gradually. I'm at like, it's like a word of mouth as well as people that are like coming joining in. They're like, oh, I actually know this, a guy up in Cincinnati. I know a guy in Dayton. I know a person in Berea, Kentucky. And then they're coming into this main group, and then I get
yeah.
to meet all of these people all of a sudden, and graciously sometimes get to meet them in person, see them. They'll come here because I've just pitched the idea. I'm like, hey, I have 12 handpans. Come on down. And
That'd
then
work. Yeah, that would work.
yeah, they're like, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gets real easy to entice people.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we have 40, I think 48 right now in that group as of this recording. So it's constantly growing. I just met two new handpan people that I didn't know played in Kentucky, and just added them. So it's really cool to see it grow organically compared to
Yeah.
pushing it. So to answer your question of where we do things, so we had our first ever Kentucky handpan gathering, so to say, last year in
Yeah.
this little barn, basically near this art museum here in Lexington. Because Lexington's almost like the middle ground for the people up in Ohio, as well as the lower parts, like the southern parts of Kentucky. So
Uh-huh.
it started up as the Kentucky Handpan Group, and now it's the Kentucky Cincy Handpan Group,
Yeah.
because we have people from Ohio,
Yeah.
because Ohio doesn't really have a gathering of some sorts yet. So, but yeah, so we just met up in this barn that fit maybe 40 people, and had a gorgeous outer area of a park, and we gathered. We had probably about 15 or 20 of the group members that showed up with friends and family and stuff too. And yeah, we had workshops. We had performances. It was really cool to see something very small for sure, but
No, that's
something
cool.
just bloom. Like it was something I've always wanted to do, and like I said, it
Sorry.
just everything really just comes in back to how can I serve, and that was just one of those questions that I asked myself, and I was like, well, no one else is going to form this. I might as well form this. I just might as well try to do this. Like I want to surround myself with these people. I want to surround myself. I want to have a gathering here, in Kentucky, because it's a gorgeous state, and it's just somewhere that I want people to come and experience in the long run. So
I love that. I love that. You just started it off. Build it and they will come, right? That classic line. What year did you start the Kentucky Facebook group off?
I think it was about 3 years ago,
Right, 3 years.
3 to 4. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. I could be wrong, but
yeah,
it's 20. I keep on thinking in my mind it's 2025, but it's 2026 still.
yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it's been about, probably about 3 or 4 years.
And I keep forgetting that word gathering because I personally, I've started to say it today, literally today. This is hot off the press. I'm
Yeah,
definitely going to put on an event myself.
good.
but I keep thinking in the world of this word festival. I'm like Handpan Festival.
Yeah.
That's a massive word, isn't it? It's a big thing, and I think maybe I need to refocus on a gathering. That's a much better idea, isn't it? Not I'm putting on a Handpan Festival
Yeah.
because that takes that's a lot bigger. So yeah, we start with a gathering, and I like that sort of 40, was that 30 to 40 people? That sounds about right. And are you doing another one this year? Is that right? You're doing the second one in
Yes, yeah,
26?
yeah. We officially got the date. My community is just I wanted to do a 2 day festival. I'm ready for it to go to the next level. So that way I
Festival?
can,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, or gathering. Yeah, sorry, it'd still be called a gathering.
It will be a festival
But
if it's
like
2 days. Yeah.
right, yeah. It's 2 days makes it more festively, I guess. But there's this gorgeous place in Berea, Kentucky, called Homegrown Hideaways. That they have the camping stuff ready. They have an indoor space. They have a stage built, and like that's where I wanted it this year. But I asked the community what they wanted, and they were like, "We just want to go back to the same spot." So I was like,
Oh
"Okay,
yeah.
well, this is what we'll do." And then, but I opened it up this year for whoever wants to come. I strongly didn't have anybody that wanted to perform this year, so we have decided that we're going to do an open mic. So speaking
Nice.
about open
Yeah.
mics, and that way that
Great.
everyone can just gather, socialize, network with each other,
Yeah.
and then yeah, they just wanted it one day. That's why I was like, I really wanted like a whole weekend. I think next year I'll probably just do it and just be like, hey, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was gonna be just like last year. And we're all socializing, and it's gonna be more communal. I think I supplied lunch last year and stuff, which I probably do still, but
Yeah.
we have like different people from our community bringing snacks and chili
Yeah.
and all kinds of other
Nice.
different types of food and making it more personal. And that's to me also that's kind of what Kentucky's all about. We're really like homey. We're very like
Yeah.
the Shire, I would say.
Yeah. 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 I love
um,
it.
yeah.
And so, to anybody, if anybody's curious about finding out about the Kentucky Handpan Gathering or the festival as it might be this year, who knows? Where can they find out about it, and why do you think it's worth coming along?
So right now, the best way of contact for sure of everything is through me. So if you just reach out to me, I can send you event link. We have an event link right now only on Facebook, and then the actual Kentucky group in itself.
Okay,
But yeah, so definitely reach out to me, and I can send the dates and stuff. I could also send it to you as well, like the address and stuff,
please
and
do.
time and
Yeah,
everything. But it's free, and that's the thing too. It's a free thing. Especially
great.
yeah, anyone that's coming from out of state that just wants to show up. It's from 9 to 7 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for the
Yeah,
entire day. And like I said, there's a park outside of this little indoor space,
yeah,
and so therefore there's shelters if it's raining. So there's plenty of places to be able to play. Like you're not confined into this barn, so to say. It has 2 floors in the barn and stuff. But like we have the space, the whole park basically to be able to explore and kind of bring the handpan to that portion of Lexington, that community. So
so that is via the Facebook group, right? That's the main place to look for your name on Facebook to find out about the Kentucky Gathering, Handpan
yep,
Gathering. Yeah,
or on Instagram, Simple Scotsman, TikTok
Simple
as
Scotsman.
well, Simple Scotsman, or assurancesessions.com. You can
Uh huh.
message me directly through there too. So I am everywhere. If you need me, you can find me. The bold
We've got to
Irish.
ask the question. I've got to ask the question. Why are you called the Simple Scotsman?
The Simple Scotsman. So I made like I have a big portion of Scottish in me because of Wallace. So naturally, and
Yeah.
then on my mom's side, I have Irish. So I'm very interested in my ancestry and
Uh huh.
finding how many there's been literally warriors, poets, and all kinds of creatives through
Yeah.
my family tree that I've dated back to so far. And it's just a part of me. And it's just the whole Scottish style and vibe. I mean, that's that's who I am in the long run. I mean, if you ever meet me in person, you're like, oh, he's Scottish. It's just very, very simple. It's like, oh, okay.
And you're going with that theme with a new album that you're releasing soon, right? Tell me about that theme and
Yeah.
the name of the album, and yeah, a little bit more about it.
So, I've throughout the years, I've written songs that have been definitely Celtic. So my first ever pan was the Ravost B Celtic Minor. And when I met with Ravost, they told me, you want to, and I tell this to any of my students or people that are interested in handpans.
Yeah,
I've been like, what scale should I choose? And the answer that they told me that I'll never forget is that you want to choose the scale that is what your heart would sound like. And
oh wow,
so mine was the B Celtic Minor, because when you connect with a scale, you're connecting with it for a purpose. And as you eventually buy more scales, you almost have emotions connected for those times of your life. And
yeah,
a beautiful example, off topic, just real quick, was my friend Pete Lobb, one of the handpan players that I met here in, he's more up towards Cincinnati. He has a handpan that has a dove carved into it. And I was like,
nice,
well, what's with the scale? And his wife passed due to illness, so that handpan is his symbol and his scale for his wife, like for
yeah,
his healing. And it's just you don't find that in guitarists, and even everyone has their own
yeah,
personalities and or designs on their instruments, but like the handpan, like people connect with those scales whether they're conscious of it or it's subconscious, it's there. So I
I
started off,
love that.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I started off with the Celtic miners. So I started writing a lot of songs that were very Celtic-ish, and over the years, so from 2017 all the way up to this year, when I wrote a new one for the album, I was I came with the neotone, being like, this is going to make recording all of my songs. I have about like 30 or 40 songs that are not recorded right now.
uh-huh.
Um, Easier. And then I started recording, and I noticed that I started recording all of the Celtic songs because this past year I really got into my heritage and really dove more into the ancestral side of both of my families, and even made my own like coat of arms that meshed between both of the coat of arms of Scotland as well as
Nice,
Ireland, for
uh-huh,
both families. So um, it just kind of came naturally. And then I started looking around and I was like, well, has anyone done a Celtic album on handpan? And the answer, at least for me, for my research, was no. And I was like, well, this is definitely a niche thing, but it's something
yeah,
that is who I am as a person and where I've come from to be here. And so it kind of made sense. I was like, well, I already have all the songs written, let's just make it an album. And
uh-huh,
so the Highlander was just the natural name of the album that just kind of came out of nowhere. And
yeah,
I toyed around with Celtic music to also like tavern like music, to tie in my nerd culture of my own self, of video games like Baldur's Gate 3 and Zelda and
yeah,
Lord of the Rings movie. Like I wanted
yeah.
something that was not just only Celtic sounding, but like something that meshed with like you're sitting around in a medieval tavern kind of feel. So
Oh wow,
yeah,
okay. And tell me, okay, and when is the album coming out, and where will people be able to get it?
it will be out on St. Patrick's Day, which made perfect sense to do. It was an accident for it to be the release date, but I'm glad it kind of worked out. And it will be available for streaming literally everywhere. Bandcamp as well helps musicians, so it's available for pre-order there. And through Elastic Stage, the vinyl as well as the CDs are available for pre-order as of today. So